Hina Gambhir now joining us on the broadcast as we continue to keep a close track on the tensions that are escalating in the Middle East. And as we speak, there is news emerging that a U.S. warplane has crashed in Kuwait. The news as of now, Hina, has not been confirmed either by the U.S. military or the Kuwait military, but these are what unconfirmed reports are saying. They're saying that this possibly was an F-15. They're saying this reportedly crashed in Kuwait. Right. And the pilot is said to have ejected safely before the impact. There is now a video that is circulating, but we'll have to wait till the Kuwaitis or the Americans actually verify this piece of information. Absolutely. So there's a video that you can see on your screens right now, viewers, that's going viral on social media as well. It is believed to be an F-15 Eagle operated by the United States Air Force that has reportedly crashed in Kuwait. The pilot is said to have ejected safely before the impact. Video is now circulating online. We are still waiting for an official confirmation and the details of the cause of this particular crash. But this crashed west of Kuwait. It's a developing story, viewers, that we are getting for you. U.S. military jet is what we are learning. It was a F-15 Eagle operated by the United States Air Force. And this, Shreya, comes after U.S. has confirmed that 3 U.S. service members were killed and 5 seriously got wounded during Operation Epic Fury. So it is getting serious. It had already spread to parts of Middle East, but now what we are seeing in Lebanon also is becoming a cause of concern. The point really is that what next? Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar joining us live this morning as well on the broadcast. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Our other guests continue to be live with us as well, Shreya. Ambassador Sajjanhar, to you first. The point really is what's really happening. And can we expect both the sides to really come back on the table for dialogue? Do you think diplomacy still has some scope given the way the entire conflict is now spreading to more regions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Hina, for having me on the show, and a pleasure to be with you. You asked whether diplomacy has a chance. I don't think there is any other option than diplomacy. Sooner or later, diplomacy will have to kick in. And I think, the way in which things are going, the way in which things are progressing, that Iran has very limited options. For instance, as far as Iran is concerned, it doesn't have any air power whatsoever. Even as far as its air defenses are concerned, they have been severely degraded, severely eroded. So that also is not an option as far as Iran is concerned. United States and Israel have complete dominance over the airspace of Iran. Thirdly, as far as the missile and drone arsenal of Iran is concerned, it's been mentioned it is significant, and we have seen the sort of damage that it has been able to, wreak havoc on Tel Aviv, on some of the other cities in the Middle East. But then its supplies are limited, and they are getting depleted very, very quickly. So we'll really have to wait and see as to how long it can go on.
So can I just interrupt you
here?
Yes, do forgive me, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Because, we are seeing these pictures play out. So there is a video available. These are unconfirmed reports, of course, about an F-15 U.S. airplane, a warplane crashing over Kuwait. The reports are also suggesting that the pilot has evacuated safely, ejected safely. I beg your pardon, not evacuated, ejected safely. So those are the pictures coming in. Now, there are various scenarios that play out. The crash is coming at a time when tensions are high, where Iran and the rest of the Middle East are trading rockets against each other and missiles against each other and drones against each other. We are not clear whether the F-15 was hit by a drone, whether it was hit by a missile, whether it was deliberately targeted by the Iranians, or whether there was a technical failure. So that is something we are not very clear about. But the pictures we are seeing on our screens worrying, because Hina has just mentioned that the United States of America has already lost 3 servicemen. There are 5 who are injured, grievously injured. is what we are being told. Also, Donald Trump this morning has said that we need to be prepared for more American servicemen to be killed till the final goal is achieved. Now, what is the final goal? If the final goal was killing the Ayatollah, that has happened. If they are hoping for a regime change, will that happen immediately? Did he think that he could have a 24-hour airstrike?
Right.
And right after that, you'll have people coming on the streets of Tehran.
Or is that a strategy by Iran really to ensure Trump surrenders? Because I don't think US was really prepared for casualties on its side.
No,
when it started this kind of a operation with Israel, because of the kind of build-up that we
They were actually, because they know what they are dealing with. So the president had actually warned that we will see casualties.
Right.
But were they prepared for what is happening right now?
Well, absolutely. Gentlemen, requesting all of you to please stay on with us. More breaking inputs coming in at this point in time. It's a developing story. We're also keeping you ahead on the latest that's coming in, because lots is happening in the Middle East right now. The latest update is no letting down clearly by Iran. The Sirens blare in Israel. Drone intrusion alerts continue in parts of Israel, especially northern Israel, Shreya.
Can I just introduce... Okay, I believe Mr. Prakash from Tel Aviv is live with us. Mr. Prakash, thank you very much for being with us. Can you help us understand what is happening around you? Because there are sirens blaring across the Middle East, including in the Tel Aviv. Are you safe? Where are you? And what is the situation on the ground right now?
जी नमस्ते जी
जी नमस्कार प्रकाश जी
मैं तो हाँ जी जी
नहीं बोलिए आप बोलिए प्लीज
मैं रमतगन में हूँ जो ये तिलवी में आता है रमतगन सिटी
जी तो क्या सिचुएशन क्या है आपके आसपास बता सकेंगे
हाँ जी अभी हमेशा आधा घंटे के बाद एक मिसाइल आ रहा है मतलब साइरेंस
हाँ
जब भी आता है हम लोग जाता है कि हमारा जो हर बिल्डिंग में सेफ्टी रूम रहता है स्ट्रांग रूम वहां जाता है आधा घंटे के बाद वो उसके कभी भी अलर्ट आता है अभी सेफ है मिसाइल बंद हो गया बोल के मिसाइल आता है तभी निकलने का वहां से
थोड़ा अगर हो सके प्रकाश जी आप हमें आसपास दिखा सकते हैं किस तरह का माहौल है वहां पर
अजी अभी मैं यहाँ से तो नहीं दिखा सकते मैं तो अभी इधर यहाँ से 1500 मीटर के बाजू में 501 लगा नीचे गिरा था यहाँ 500 मीटर के बाजू में
अच्छा
जब मैं पास में था
ओके
कुछ प्लान नहीं हुआ लेकिन पूरा बिल्डिंग गिर गया बिल्डिंग का ग्लास से सब तोड़ा था
अच्छा तो हालत जो
यहाँ पे मेट्रो
जी बताइए
इधर देखो ये मेट्रो आपको दिखता है व्हाइट वाला ये सामने एक मिनट
जी
ये मेट्रो है 2-3 फ्लोर के नीचे रहता है अंडरग्राउंड में
अच्छा
सब लोग यहाँ रहता है ना ये मेन रोड है जहाँ ट्रांसपोर्ट ज्यादा रहता है ये इधर आके कपड़ा तो लेके इधर से होता है क्योंकि उठना जब भी आता है उठने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ता है ना आदमी लोग बहुत बड़ा स्पेस है
जी ओके
हमारे आदमी लोग सब लोग यहाँ पे आता है क्योंकि बहुत सेफ्टी है यहाँ पे यहाँ का बिल्डिंग पुरानी वाली है तो अपना बिल्डिंग में कुछ कमरे में नहीं था मतलब स्ट्रांग रूम जो जिसका नहीं है जब भी होगा तो भी पुराना है बोल के सब लोग इधर ही आते हैं
चलिए प्रकाश जी यू स्टे सेफ आप जरा सेफ रहिए और वापस आप सेफ हाउस में चले जाइए क्योंकि अभी आईडीएफ जो है इजराइल की डिफेंस फोर्सेस हैं वो कह रहे हैं दैट मिसाइल्स आर बीइंग फायर्ड फ्रॉम इरानियन टेरिटरी ऑन इजराइल सो do go on to that bomb shelter. The IDF now confirming that the Iranians have launched missiles at Israel. These missiles have been intercepted. They have been the air defenses have been activated all across Israel, but Hina, this is only to be expected. As we see that piece of information come in, can I also very quickly introduce Dr. Jeffrey Gunter, who's the former US ambassador joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Jeffrey Gunter, we are seeing things play out the way we expected things to play out. Donald Trump had already predicted that you'll see this conflict, last anywhere between 4 weeks to 5 weeks. And as we speak to you, there are pictures that are coming in to us. Hina, if you can just put that. I mean, I can't read very clearly,
Well,
but are these pictures coming in from Israel? I think they were from Israel.
Yes. And as missiles are flying, Khamenei has been eliminated. What we are witnessing is actually missiles being fired from Iran towards Israel. Israeli defense systems, in fact, are intercepting the threat. The air defenses have been activated across Israel, and people have been asked to ensure they remain in the protective spaces. Civilians, in fact, have been told to stay in shelters only. IDF has confirmed missile threats from Iran. So there is a bit of panic that we can see gripping parts of Israel, and, you know, visuals are coming in from different parts as well, with people trying to rush to safe houses or shelters that are relatively safer. So that's the current situation right now in Israel. But Shreya, of course, let's go across to our guest for a quick word on what's really happening as well. Jeffrey Gunter, now, firstly, what do you make of how the entire conflict has now spread beyond the Middle East, and also now how the situation is in Israel? I mean, what is your assessment of what we are witnessing right now?
My assessment is we're witnessing a transformational change in the Middle East. So far, it's been incredibly positive. Let's think about it. This is not Iran being persistent. This is Iran being desperate. They've lost their supreme leader at the beginning of this. They've lost so many. They lost the head of their military force during this entire process. And it's not going to get any better for them. President Trump warned the American people about the loss of life. Israel already did this drill before. They know exactly how to do this. In fact, I myself, in the 90s during the first Gulf War, when Saddam Hussein was launching Scud missiles, I myself was in Israel with my gas mask. And there's an intense feeling of solidarity across the entire country when these things happen. It's dangerous, but let me tell you, it's so far been successful, and the world will be a much safer place. In fact, already is a much safer place with the success that we've seen so far. This is exactly what they expected.
Dr. Gunter, give me a minute. We're just going back to pictures that are coming to us, and this will be a bit worrying for the United States of America. A U.S. airplane, possibly an F-15, or at least that's what I could make out. This is an F-15, has crashed in Kuwait. The good news is that the pilot has survived the crash. He ejected safely. Of course, the news not been confirmed either by the United States military or the Kuwait military as of now. So we'll try and get a confirmation on that. But there is a video that is now going viral. Hina, you're taking us through the video. Please go ahead.
Well, absolutely. So these are the visuals coming in from Kuwait, viewers, at this point in time. It's a viral video that we have got for you. And this is possibly an F-15 Eagle, U.S. Air Force plane, in fact, that has reportedly crashed in Kuwait. Now, this video right now is going viral, and there is no official confirmation that has come from the United States of America about the reason behind the crash and also what exactly happened. Because remember, things are quite volatile right now, and this is the video. There you can see the way this particular, jet crashed. Thankfully, according to reports, again, unconfirmed reports suggesting that the pilot managed to eject out of this aircraft just before it crashed. But this is the exact moment of crash. There you can see it crashing down near this particular tower. And there you can see.
And you can also see, Hina, that there's a part of the plane that is on fire, which is raising the question, was it hit?
Yes.
Or was there a technical failure? Because, the weather seems to be clear, so there is no problem as far as the weather is clear. But
if it was hit by a drone, Shreya, then it's getting serious.
General Dhillon, would you just want to come in here? I have a question for Dr. Gunter, but I'll come to that in just a bit. General Dhillon, as we are seeing these pictures, and I hope you're in a position to take a look at the video we are playing out, in your professional assessment, what could this be? Could this be a hit by a drone? Because a missile hit would be, tremendous. Is this a hit by a drone, or is this just a crash that happened because of a technical reason?
For myself, Ambassador?
Ma'am, two aspects.
Yeah.
One is, when you go for a war, the losses will happen. The aircrafts will get hit, aircrafts will survive. And second point is, aircraft as advanced as F-15 cannot be hit by a drone. Drone is against a fixed target, a building or a house or a bridge, which will go and bang against it, produce some explosive blast and cause some damage. Aircraft can only be hit by missiles. And that too, which are designed to go and hit. And there are enough technical gadgets on board F-15 which can make sure that missile which is targeted at the aircraft can be diverted or destroyed before it hits. But there is a chance that it can hit. But this doesn't look like a missile hit. It looked like a technical failure. And technical failure where the engine has fired out. And authenticity of the video, of course, is this doubt. And here I would like to make a point. See, when we are talking about losses, and you talked about 3 US soldiers having lost their life, President of America talks about losses of lives.
Correct.
And, you know, we have various things. In this whole game, Pakistan lost their 22 citizens. वो होता ना हिंदी में बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना तू कौन मैं खाम खा. You know, and not a single leader of Pakistan has spoken about the death of their citizens.
Can you give me a minute? We now have pictures of the pilot as well. As I said, he has ejected safely, and it seems he has, giving a smile to the camera as well. Hina, you have the pictures. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Please. Again, these are unconfirmed visuals that we are getting for you right now, and this appears to be the pilot of this particular jet that crashed in Kuwait earlier, and you can see this pilot being taken away. He seems to be absolutely fine. I think he did manage to eject out of the jet just in time, and that's why he looks absolutely fine. I don't think he's got any injuries. He looks fine. He's there. And of course, we're still waiting for a confirmation from US military or the Kuwaiti authorities on what exactly has happened. But as Sir was telling us, General Dillon was telling us right now that it looks like a technical issue. It's highly impossible that, a drone could have really hit a plane, a jet like this. Missile strike definitely would have looked slightly different, but this looks like a technical issue. We're still waiting for an official word from the authorities, but this is the second set of visual reviewers that we've got for you, wherein this pilot who reportedly ejected from this particular jet is being taken away. He's there, and there are some other authority, some other officials as well. We don't know who these people really are, but he is reportedly now being taken away. So, Shreya, important updates there coming in.
In fact, there are also reports that there were possibly 2 pilots. Again, we'll wait for a confirmation, but both pilots, it seems, if there were 2 pilots, at least one has ejected safely, and I'm assuming the other one has. And I think General Dillon has made an important point that this possibly is not a drone hit. This could be, a technical malfunction in the plane. Dr. Gunter, can I just take you back to what Donald Trump has told ABC today? He has essentially told ABC that he's almost said this, that this was a preemptive strike. And he speaks about the Ayatollah and says, I got him before he could get me. He tried to get me twice, but I got him before that. Help me understand how the strikes on Saturday were a preemptive strike when Pentagon officials are briefing the Congress and saying that we have no information or intelligence to suggest that Iran was planning to target either Israel or American installations in the Middle East. Then how is this preemptive if you were already on the talking table and the Omanis had said as much that you all were close to a deal?
Well, first and foremost, you don't have to have a crystal ball to understand what the intentions of Iran has been, not only with the United States, not only with Israel, but the entire Western world. The number of Americans and others maimed, murdered by this regime is well into the thousands. Number 2, myself being part of the prior diplomatic corps, we understand the threats that Iran put out on so many of us when Soleimani was taken out brilliantly by our great military and by Donald J. Trump. So look at these guys. The supreme ruler was a supreme murderer, terrorist, and someone who created havoc around the world. It's not a democracy. He was a thug. And you have certain operational windows when you have to take action. And we saw that operational window. It was amazingly created by the Israelis. Look at the ability to get all those leaders in one room and take them all out simultaneously. It's sheer brilliance and also sheer naivete on the part of the Iranian rulers. Because guess what? We had just seen it happen with Hezbollah when the Israelis attacked them with the pagers, and they all aggregated together trying to protect themselves in a more secure environment without electronics.
Dr. Gunter, I agree with you that it was a brilliant operation launched by the Israelis and the Americans. But I want to ask you how this was a preemptive strike, because the Pentagon itself is saying there was no imminent threat from the Israelis, that the Israelis were on the talking table. The Omanis have confirmed it.
Oh, I mean, let's face it, victorious warriors win, then go to war. And a large part of that is technological superiority and the element of surprise. And we've been speaking with the Iranians ever since they took over our U.S. embassy in 1979. So they like to buy time, like President Trump said. They like to bob and weave. They're quite crafty in many ways, but all because we were in supposed negotiations at the time and we took the opportunity.
Right.
That's what happens. And they've had plenty of opportunities. President Trump is the peacetime president. He's made peace certainly during the India and the Pakistani conflict. He's gone around the world doing it.
Dr. Gunter, I'm just interrupting you there. Request you to please stay on with us because a lot of updates are coming in. As far as this particular story is concerned, Iran has escalated the attack on Gulf nations. New wave of missiles launched. Drones target Doha, Kuwait, Dubai. Missiles also have been launched towards Abu Dhabi. So this is the latest update coming in. And let me get in a word from retired Colonel Dr. Rafal George Bochnik-Chen, senior researcher at Bar Ilan University. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on Times Now this morning. What do you make of what we are witnessing in the Middle East, the kind of, targets that are being hit by Iran in places like Doha, Kuwait, Dubai, Abu Dhabi specifically?
Well, good morning. As a matter of fact, we have observed since yesterday an attempt of the Iranians to engage the Gulf Emirates and also possibly Saudi Arabia to put pressure on the United States to put an end to the offensive against Iran. But apparently this attempt are, of course, in vain because Iran is practically losing its friends in the Gulf, so that it's a counterproductive act. At the moment, the Iranians realize that Saudi Arabia, at least, is ready to join the US-Israel coalition, possibly even by launching any kind of missiles against Iran if it is attacked again. But to the moment, I would say Iran is taking advantage of what is left of its arsenal to launch missiles to the Gulf Emirates and also to Israel. This morning, just half an hour ago, the sirens, of course, blared and people had to go to the shelters and so on and so forth. But the number of missiles is been reduced to 2 or 3 missiles in every launch attempt.
Colonel, that's because given the combined strength of the Israelis and the Americans, what Iran has is almost next to nothing. In fact, yesterday Donald Trump has claimed that 9 of their warships, Iranian warships, have been struck and sunk. Ashok Sajjanar, when you came to the show, you started on a rather optimistic note and said diplomacy is the only way. I want to ask you how diplomacy is the only way, given the fact that Iran, despite being in the vulnerable position it is, despite being pushed to the edge, pushed to a corner, pushed to the wall, is saying we are not coming to the talking table.
Yeah, Shreya, thank you very much for that question. You know, talk is easy, action is difficult. So, you know, what does Iran have, for instance? And I would say that, you know, the action it has taken yesterday, hitting out recklessly at its, you know, Gulf partners in the vicinity, Meaning, what is it trying to achieve? Because all these countries really had come around to telling the United States, telling Trump, don't attack, because if you attack, then Iran is going to hit the American bases that are, located here. And we will have to face, the damages because of that. We'll be also casualties in that case. But Donald Trump did not listen, as was to be expected. He had made up his mind. I think when Netanyahu traveled to Washington, D.C., both of them, the leaders must have decided as to how to go forward.
Which means, Ashok Sajjanar, are you telling me that the talks in Geneva were just a ploy to lull the Iranians into thinking that nothing is coming, and then come these strikes that take out their entire leadership?
Could be very possible. Meaning, yes, I am inclined to thinking that because, this is not the first time that Mr. Trump has done like this. If you remember last time also, when he was, in June, he had gone on 16, 17 June to Canada for the G7. And then he came back after one day saying, that there was some sort of discussions going on for 10, 15 days. We'll have to start the conversation. But, to continue, just to make one point on that, Shreya, what you mentioned, the point is that Iran might hit out at Israel and all these countries. But it has limited stocks of its missiles.
Absolutely. How long can they carry on? I agree. How long can they carry on?
That's an important point as well. We'll, of course, be taking it forward. But for now, we have to slip into a very, very short break. Requesting all my guests to please stay on with us, viewers. We're going to be back with more important updates. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute.